Start recording, and I am going to start streaming. Everybody good? Everybody good to go?
Mm-hmm.
Let me turn my phone to silent. And theoretically, we are now streaming.
I will confirm this.
Yeah, we're gonna confirm this. Oh man.
Trust but verify.
Yeah.
Good policy when.
Yeah, nope. We are live. I can see us right there. So that means welcome back, everyone, to Adventure Hook, Dark Sun, Fire, and Sand. I'm your host and Dungeon Master Wanderer, Aaron Campbell. With us as usual. Rob, you want to start things off today?
Me today? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm Robert Randle, and I am playing Marc Andreyko, a Thrycreen telepath.
What? let's. Joe, you want to kick it off after Rob?
Joe Annabi, I play Geza Akos, and my Twitch isn't working, so I can't confirm.
Yeah. Emelie?
I usually come after the other Joe, and he's just not here.
Yeah.
My name is Emelie. I play Desiderata, the half-elf.
And last but not least, Mark, you want to do the...
Marc Andreyko, and I play Char, the Fire Exarch Dwarf.
Nice. Okay, so first thing before we get any further, just so all the listeners know, we're still trying to figure things out because Joe isn't going to be joining us, at least not for a while. So I'm taking over all of the technical duties, and I'm pretty much a Luddite when it comes to this stuff. And OBS, Twitch, all of that stuff is absolutely a complete enigma to me. So I'm still working on some audio issues, so you're just going to have to bear with us. I know our last session, unfortunately, the audio was not that great. As far as like the rest of the crew goes, and it's unfortunately going to have to suffice that way again this session. Hopefully by next time I'll have that figure out how to like actually put in all these stupid fucking audio sources. Yeah, like I just want to ask the world, when is somebody gonna like make a streaming service like that just like is plug and play? Like you just click like little buttons. It's like that just does the stuff for you, and it's just there, and you just there, and it's just ready to go, instead of having to be like a pseudo programmer to fucking figure this shit out. So, at any rate,
The answer is never.
Never. Like what the
Well,
hell?
not today anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, please somebody do that. You'll make a million. You'll make $1 million. Having said that, it has been a few weeks. The holidays. I think last time we played was like right before Christmas. So, how was everybody's holidays and such? Woohoo! Anything interesting to call out? Any fun gifts or whatever? No. All right. Well.
Sorry, man.
What an exciting group we've got.
I was just waiting for someone else to talk so I could confirm that I did hear them in the stream.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
But also, I have nothing to report.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say we did have a really nice sort of holiday season, and particularly we had some really nice sort of Yule gatherings with some of our more esoteric friends. So that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to sort of close out. I mean, we observe sort of a different calendar, but it is sort of still the end of the year, and now, man, 2023, like let's get it on, because last year, man, that was rough. That was a rough year for us, at least. I'm sure pretty much everybody seems to have been a little worn down by last year. So here's hoping that 2023 is much smoother sailing, particularly for us and our tech issues, which have been, long before 2023 even, reared its ugly head. We were having tech issues with this show. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe slowly we'll get there, but it's doubtful. I will say, I guess one exciting piece of news that I have a lot of exciting shit that's going to be happening this year. Not much of it I can talk about, but one thing exciting that did just happen this past week was the book that I co-write with Tim Seeley, West of Sundown, got a starred review in Publishers Weekly.
Oh, that's great.
Which is supposedly a fairly big deal. So yeah, so that's nice. But other than that, I haven't been
trade paperback yet.
The first trade comes out in March, I think.
Okay, cool.
So,
actually, I meant to show you. Where is it? Hit the local comic book shop finally and dug this up. So
nice.
So yeah, if you haven't seen it, people, this is an awesome little piece of Sandman history now.
Yeah.
So
yeah. There's some stuff coming up I wish I could talk to you that is related to some extent.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have to put a pin in that. So
you mean that? You mean the?
Yes. So
the one with the guy, yeah.
Yeah, the one with the guy and the thing that does the thing with the other guy.
I know what he's referring to. Anyone watching, I know what he's referring to. The Starbucks gift certificate, I'll give you all the details.
All right, well, okay, so if nobody else has anything that they wanted to talk about, Emelie, have you been doing deep dive reads? Any comic questions before we get into things? Nope. You're not doing any long haul completist reads right now?
I'm almost done with all of Stray Bullets, and then I'm about halfway through Constantine. I had to stop Hellblazer halfway through and just take a mini break with Stray Bullets, but
is that because of how cheery Hellblazer is?
It's a journey, through authorship. The journey is always to the authors.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the character; it's the authors.
Yeah, I think about halfway through is when you start to see kind of hit or miss, a lot of hit and miss kind of stuff happen.
But the hits, I'll say that the hits hit harder than a lot of other titles.
Uh-huh. Well, have you? When did Garth do his lung cancer run? That
was right after Delano. He came.
Yeah, that was pretty early.
Right in.
Yeah,
early.
yeah. All right. Well, you've read more Hellblazer than I have at this point, because that's a shit ton of. Yeah, that's 150 issues you're already into, and I haven't really read any of the later stuff at all, except for a couple storylines. So having said that, okay, so let's get into it. So it has been a little while. It's been a few months now since we've played the game proper. We came in December and had a bit of a little bit of a interlude, I guess you could call it, where we talked about basically went back over everything that had happened in the last time that we'd actually played, because I believe Joe and Mark were not in that session. So we recapped sort of where we were, and then had basically a in-character conversation, pseudo campfire talk, you could say. And at this point where we left off, Damezo was basically getting ready to present and eat the Faro fruit. The Faro fruit had finally been brought out after about an hour or so of dining and drinks and conversation with, the people around you and within your own group. And finally, that fruit, the thing that you've been building up to for so long, was brought out on a silver platter, basically danced up to the head of the table in sort of this kind of lavish ceremony, and presented to Damezo, who took it, and without too much preamble, thanked all of the guests that have come to attend this great event, not only for House Ianto, but for Athos, or for Tyr itself, theoretically, as the fortunes of House Ianto begin to continue to rise. And theoretically, the hopes being that House Ianto will not be a minor trading house for too much longer, but enter into the hallowed ranks of the major trading houses of Athos. So, and then Damezo went on to say that the honor of the first bite of the Faro fruit would not go to himself, but go to his father, Strabo, who is responsible for the founding of House Ianto, and for all of its success up until this point. So, in addition to that, you had started to work out a deal with the other gladiators that had participated in the fight earlier that day, to become basically employed by you as a way of... You're not too concerned about saving their lives, but saving their lives at least from Damezo, because it does seem as though Damezo does not want them to survive the night. And you not desperately, but definitely would like to learn more about what it is that they know of the inner workings and machinations of House Ianto. So, having said that, is there anything that anyone wants to do before we kick this poison fest off?
Well, we're not stopping this from happening, right? Strabo is a perfect recipient for that poison.
Yeah.
I think
We're in agreement of that, right? So we're not doing anything. We're just going to toast to them and cheer and whatever everyone else is doing.
We would like to hold our action.
Hold your action. Yeah.
Right.
If I recall, okay, so as I was listening through, basically the conversation you guys were having in Metaconcert last time, I wasn't quite sure where you ended on in terms of like what your strategy was. Was there going to be a point at which you played your poison detecting hand?
Yes, that was if he was going to have somebody eat the poison that we didn't want to die.
Other than Strabo. But we were gonna suggest.
But we
that
want
he
Strabo to die.
Yeah, if he wasn't gonna have it himself.
We masked Strabo.
Yeah, Strabo.
Yeah.
Either of those guys could die. That's fine.
Okay. Okay. So, everything becomes quiet. Strabo himself, the patriarch of House Ianto, is this massively bloated, corpulent old man. Probably weighs about 350 pounds or so. Has been brought out on a palanquin of his own. He remains in that palanquin, kind of laying upon his side in repose, very classically Greek or Roman in that regard. He wears a toga that's loosely draped across his varicose-veined flesh. And you can see that he's sweating profusely. There are household slaves that are fanning him with palm fronds constantly, and he's been drinking copious amounts of wine throughout the evening. So when Damezo presents it to him, he goes, "Oh, my boy, you are too kind. Yes, House Ianto has gone through many ups and downs over the years, and I do say that I believe it is about time that I begin to take more of a back seat to operations and allow my son to take more point. He, I see, will do great things in my name, to honor this house and to honor Tia. And in so keeping, I will graciously accept the first bite of this first fruit of the season here in Tia of the Faro." And he puts his hand out, and you can see this great kind of flap of flesh hang as he reaches his pudgy fingers out to take the silver platter in his hand, at which point he plucks the Faro fruit up with his fingers that are already sticky from all of the food and hors d'oeuvres that he's been sampling and eating throughout the night. You can see that his toga itself, he's been wiping sauces and stuff off on his chest, so it's completely stained and soiled by this point. He picks the Faro fruit up and kind of puts the wine down and licks his fingers, and you can see sort of sticky rivulets of saliva extend from his lips as he takes the Faro fruit and puts his head back as far as he can, lowers it into his puckered mouth, and just takes a slobbery sucking bite from it. And eats probably in one bite about a third of the Faro fruit, and then puts the Faro fruit back on the silver tray, which is being held by one of the servants, and then licks his fingers. He's like, oh my, it's delicious, oh. And he's just licking every finger. He's getting all of the juice that's run down through his knuckles off. Oh, my boy, I must say, that is some of the most delicious Faro fruit I've ever had. You must try it. You must. And he goes back to drinking his wine as the servant now delivers the platter to Damezo. And brings it towards, and at this point, again, like there's a hush across the entire. There's a little bit of a round of applause after Strabo eats, and then there the platter, the servant stands with the platter held out in front of Damezo.
How close are we to Damezo?
Mm-hmm.
So, if we look at the map over here.
Oh yes. Let us do that.
Boo. So let's see. So the head table is basically parallel to this back wall here. If you look at the map.
Are you sharing?
Oh,
not in Zoom.
Yeah, not in Zoom, which is going to fuck everything up. Yay! Yeah, hold on a second. Give me just a second, because I will have to do some reformatting real quick. God damn it!
Yeah, because we restarted, right? So
yeah. Just give me a second, and
of course.
Yeah. Motherfucker. Okay. Let's see if everything here is good. And oh shit.
It does seem like the stream is frozen.
Yeah, the stream is frozen. I'm going to have to reconnect probably. Floating window. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okie doke. So let me just fix this real quick. The
stream is unfrozen.
Yeah. This is good Twitch. This is peak Twitch. Peak Twitch.
Adventure Hook tech support.
Okay. That's just gonna have to do. Okay. All right. So, the big double doors that are at the very back of the courtyard. There's the main banqueting table that runs sort of parallel in front of those doors, and then on either side, to the north and south, there are tables running perpendicular. So it kind of creates this open space between the table and where the central palace sits. And that's where a lot of the entertainment, and that's where all the entertainment for the night has been happening, is in sort of this open space in front of the main banqueting table. So
Damezo's back is to the double doors, or he was standing with his back to the palace when he was doing that big speech?
No, Damezo's back is to the double doors. Think Last Supper, people only sit on one side of these tables.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so creating like a very large U shape so everybody can kind of see each other.
Are we on the same side as him, or are we on one of the U arms?
Yeah, actually, I had you guys...
Weren't we in the north? I thought we were on the edge.
Yeah, so you guys are kind of up. I mean, you're scattered, but that's the general area of where you guys are.
So we're really not that far from him.
And Desi might be in range.
Yeah, like Ma'ak and Craucus, you're sitting up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they placed you big guys over here. Along with the other gladiators who are lined up in this area.
Is it sort of the farther up the U you are, the more important you are? Would Desi be on the corner, basically?
Yeah. Let me. Basically,
technically, she'd be closest then.
Yeah.
She might actually be in range.
Yeah. So this is Geza, because of sort of the oddity of him, gets seated next to Desi, and then it's Cha'ar, and then around the corner is Craucus, and then Ma'ak. And of course, like you take up less space than what you're occupying on the map because you're sitting down, and Craucus isn't actually 10 feet wide.
I could probably get in the corner,
yeah,
right, and just like lean over because I'm like long and wide.
Yeah, I mean, you've all been kind of.
I don't care. Honestly.
You've all been seated purpose. Like you didn't get to choose where you sit.
Oh, gotcha.
You were told where to sit, so you're there. And then two of the other gladiators that you fought with sit next to Ma'ak, the dwarves, and then on the opposite side, all the way on the opposite side, on the south side of the courtyard, is where Yili, the Yanti purebred, and if I can't remember the other one's name off the top of my head, Domashel, the half-elf ranger, is on the other side. So next to you is Grain and Vryn.
Cool.
Ma'ak. Souza, and then in the middle, let's see if I have anything for them. Yeah, no, I don't. So, but yeah, in the center, of course, is Strabo, and then right next to him is Damezo. Just to the left of Damezo is Kame, and then Souza sits to the left of Kame. And then there's, remember, the Defiler. What the fuck was his name? His name was Daruish. And Daruish sits between Desi and Strabo.
All right.
So, that's got to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, so you're sitting... there's a couple more, like, nobles between you and Daruish, but... In general, like, Daruish is between.
That would be uncomfortable in, like, a great way.
Yeah, no, there's a couple more.
We don't know each other anyway.
Yeah,
right?
there's a couple like nobles, like senators from Tyr who are sat between Darwish and you, Desi. So
Oh, I can't play footsie.
I mean, you can play footsie, but not with Darwish. That's totally up to you. Okay, so having said that,
Yeah, what do I roll?
the platter, yeah,
Sleight of-
there's
Roll
yeah.
for footsie.
This household slave stands before Damezo, holding the silver platter with the partially eaten Faro fruit on it at this point. So, unless you act now, no.
Through meta concert, Mark said.
I vote hold.
We should interfere. Let him eat it.
Even though that goes against the wishes of the people who are listening through their stones.
He won't die from it.
Oh, he's immune to poison?
If what Souza told him is true, he is transforming into one of these Yanti purebloods too, just like Yili down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you have to remember he knows
to
it's
poison
poison.
by this point. At worst, he said it would make him sick for a night. But
Okay.
he'd survive it. So it's nothing to him, and we
Yeah,
don't have
better
to
to not.
interfere. Why would we interfere?
Better to not show our hands or do anything.
Better to not show we know.
Yeah.
Right. So Ma'ak, in the meantime, Ma'ak's just like chewing on a fruit or something while all this is going on.
I have a question though. Like, I know that we're pretending, like, if this whole thing unveils, I know we're pretending that we don't know the fruit is poisoned and I'm just discovering that. But I'm just curious about my talent in that if it did pass so close, is it something where it's like I just smell it, I pick it up, or do I have to go, I wonder, and am purposely activating this talent? And I'll tell you why I'm asking. If this comes up later, like if I have to reveal later that this was poisoned and like, you know, he says, well, if you knew that was poisoned, why didn't you say anything? You know, that's why I'm asking. So how passive is it?
It's not passive. You have to use it as an action,
And
and it has to be within
does she
a
have
yard
to-
of
Is
you.
it something that she rolls for, or she just knows?
No, she would.
It's her wild talent.
Yeah, it's your wild talent. You detect it, but you would have to use it as an action. And and then you would scan. And remember, its effective radius is only 1 yard around you, so it has to be food that's in your direct vicinity. So
So you wouldn't have detected even if it were passive.
yeah,
Right. Okay.
like
Damezo's way over there.
theoretically, there's a chance that when Strabo is more than 3 feet away from you, so. And the fruit, when the fruit was brought out, it was brought out through the middle of that open area between the tables. So it never really got closer than maybe 15 feet from you, or 10 feet at the closest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I have an excuse. That's good, but if I need to trigger this thing, I'm gonna have to find an excuse to trigger it, and that's hard.
And that's being handed it,
Yeah.
basically.
So-
Otherwise, why would you
Right.
know?
Okay, so having said that, if you were going to act anyway, it's too late. You took too long. Damezo stands up. Damezo stands up and he looks around. He looks at the gathered host, all the people around, and he says to everyone, he says, "Once again, I would like to thank all of you as my honored and privileged guests for coming here this evening to not only celebrate the first Faro fruit of the season, of the harvest, but as witness to the rising fortunes of House Ianto. This Faro fruit is a symbol of our prosperity, our influence, and our future. And we hope that all of you here assembled will come along with us as House Ianto moves forward into a new era of ascendance.
I'm gonna break out in applause.
Everybody else follows you. Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!
I may have interrupted one of his sentences, but I decided not to care.
Yeah, we'll take that wine drop over there as a moment where he kind of paused. And someone in the does it? Whoops. And he says, "And as a show of my gratitude, I am going to share this Faro fruit, what is left of it, with all I can."
Shit. Well, let's see who it goes to first.
He nods to another one of the servants who are standing nearby, who comes forward with a very beautiful set of carving knives. At which point, Damezo takes them and begins to slice the Faro fruit into small pieces.
How
Potent?
is your poison?
You're
Stomach aches or death?
Yeah, you're uncertain. I mean, all you know, like, you really don't know anything about this poison that was given to you. It was just it's a poison.
It's supposed to be first class, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like one of the deadliest poisons there are.
And this is Athos.
Yeah. So, something that's far beyond your ability to even consider creating. Like, you would have to be incredibly potent poisoner in order to create something like this.
I will say over Meta Concert, the only people I give a shit about are y'all and what's her name? And she's pretty far down the list at this point in time.
Do you think he'll knowingly poison his sister?
I'm just saying. I'm just pointing my priorities.
No. I'm curious. I think we let him poison as many people as possible because what he's doing is digging his own grave.
I'm kind of with you on this.
But, of course, the moment it's handed to you, you will reveal that it's poisoned.
Well, I have a thought.
We pretend to eat it.
Will you all hear me? My thought is out of like grace and etiquette. If we each have ourselves a piece, I will first determine how much poison is in each of our bites. If not so bad, if we all get sick, we will eat. If bad, I think we might be able to use etiquette and to say we are new, get all, to make grand bow, grand gesture, give back to him. Say, we are new, we are grateful, we would like please to thank you for having us. We cannot take, you have.
Well, if you recall, your poison sense doesn't tell you the lethality of the poison, just that it exists.
I did not recall.
Sacre bleu.
So then, I would recommend that we do the etiquette thing.
Let's see what happens. See if he decides to poison. He needs us. He thinks I don't think he's going to give it to us because he needs us to figure out the silk trade thing. We're too valuable. He can't kill us right now. He may try to kill our gladiators. So we have to decide. I mean, and while we're at it, Char, I feel like you're our best bet to get those dwarves to trust us and tell us everything they know about the obsidian sapping operation and making the orbs in the basement. All that stuff is super important, and they may not have a lot of time. So let's see what happens.
Do you know Dwarven sign language?
Do they?
But on the other thing, is there protocol for the etiquette handbag thing? Is that a thing?
I made it up.
wherever she's from, that's how they do it.
I think it's in Japan they do that.
I still think we fake eat it. We pretend to eat it and die with everyone else, and then when they're all dead, we get up.
So I'm a terrible liar, and also Damezo knows we sold him a poisoned fruit, doesn't he?
He doesn't know
No.
that we poisoned it.
He doesn't know it was us. He knows that it is poison.
He knows we owned the fruit at one point, but he
But he
did
didn't
such an
know it
awesome
was-
job of poisoning it. It was delivered in confidence to him, right?
So he doesn't know that it was poisoned until it was here.
Yes.
Okay.
Theoretically.
I also don't want to have to answer the question about why we're the only ones who survived if we pretend to eat it and don't.
We shouldn't pretend to eat it. If it comes to us, I think you have a poison sense, and that's fine. That's your wild talent.
All right.
Well, it doesn't come to you exactly first. Damezo, once he finishes slicing it up into parts equal enough for everyone assembled to have a morsel, a taste, he sets...
How many people are here?
There's
How big is this fruit?
The fruit itself is about the size
Like a
of like a
mango?
large mango. So, and there's...
You just went like this for a large mango. What mangoes are you having?
Mangoes get big.
Mangoes are like that big.
They range.
I've seen mangoes.
That's
I've
like an aubergine.
I've seen
from, like,
mangoes that are
grapefruit
like
to
as wide as my
cantaloupe.
chest. Like,
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's a fictional fruit. It's,
Yeah.
There's enough to go. I mean, it's just a taste, right?
Fine,
Yeah.
fine. But if there are like 100 people here and he's cutting up tiny little bits for 100, this
Yeah.
is super poisonous. This is like the poison, tasty fish in The Simpsons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No one can safely eat this, we have to assume.
yeah.
But I
mean, there's-
to know what happens.
There's not 100 people here though. There's probably about 48 or so people assembled here, who are guests, along with you. So,
Aaron, can we make a sense motive on what he's doing? Do we think, since we know you
can give me an insight.
Poison.
yeah, give me an insight.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
I'll do an
Actually,
insight.
Maak shouldn't make this. It should be
No.
Desi.
Well, I made
But
an
I'm just
insight
saying,
check, but it was a
can we
natural
tell if
one.
he's trying to dilute it enough that no one will die? Is he doing that knowingly? Since it got handed to him.
I rolled an 18.
Nice.
I'll need to probably counter these with.
I also trust this Sousa guy to actually know this poison better than I do.
Of course, I don't have a pin there. Let's just open up. Can we open up?
What did Sousa say that you're trusting?
No, he didn't say anything. I'm just judging by what I would imagine his level to be. I bet he knows this poison better than I do.
Yeah, he's no slouch, that's for sure.
Okay. Okay, so Desi rolled an 18.
Correct.
Was anybody else doing this? Mock?
I rolled a natural one.
I pass. I don't think Maak would think to. Rob suggested that, not Maak.
Okay.
And Geza rolled like shit.
Man, I'm gonna say at this point it's really kind of hard to tell. Damezo's just at this point right now just going about his business cutting this up. He seems calm, collected.
Anything off Sousa?
Give me another insight check for him.
Oh dear.
The guy's ice cold.
But you never know. Oh, Geza!
21 on mine.
All right.
Oh, 14. I'm leaving this to Geza.
Let's see here. Okay. He is sitting there looking around the host, scrutinizing. He seems to be paying particular attention to Yeely and the other gladiators.
So it seems like this is how they kill the gladiators.
Well, but Yeely won't die.
But you were describing handing it out.
He hasn't handed it out yet, so he's still cutting things up. It's taken him a little bit to cut this up. There's a large
48 pieces.
Yeah, because there's also a large seed in the middle that has to be cut around. So, but it takes him a couple minutes to get through.
Does this poison take like an hour?
It's an hour. Yeah, it's got a delayed effect of an hour.
Can I pass my idea on through Craucus? Of can you tell them don't eat the fruit, defer, do a good old fashioned I'm not worthy?
Craucus is between Vryn and Grain, and or rather, Ma'ak is between Vryn, Grain, and Ma'ak.
But metaconcert? Are we not in metaconcert with Craucus?
With Craucus, but not with the gladiators.
No,
Right.
we haven't revealed that to them.
Right, telephone. Quick telephone, Craucus.
You want Craucus to do a subtlety?
Oh, God. That's a good point.
Well, as he's finishing up,
It wouldn't be bad idea. It wouldn't ruin it if it was revealed that Craucus was telling them, don't eat it because we're not worthy.
That's true.
I would pass that along. I would say, Craucus, tell them, don't eat it because you're not worthy. Bad etiquette, don't eat it. You're not worthy. Pass it on to the other gladiators.
Craucus knows that it's poison, right?
No, Aaron. No, he has no idea.
Craucus does know it's poison.
Yeah, he knows.
Oh man, shit. God, what would? I'm trying to think of how Craucus would handle this.
Well, but I do have like a little bit of authority over Craucus. If I told him only say to them, you cannot eat it, you are not worthy, and nothing else. He does tend to defer to authority.
In Metaconcert, Craucus says, But.
No but, Craucus.
If I am worthy, we are worthy. How can I tell them not to eat something that we are obviously worthy of? I am the great Craucus. We beat the Bazrag. Or the Braxit. We beat the Braxit. How can I, with straight face, say I am not worthy?
Your prize is your freedom, not the fruit. Your prize is your freedom, not the fruit.
And no matter what, they are now in a clutch, and it is Desi who is first in clutch. You should offer it to her first.
No!
Isn't that the idea?
No!
And then you're like, nope, no thanks, and then we don't eat because first to eat, right? Wasn't that the plan last time?
Hold on, because at this point, Damezo stands up. He's finished cutting up the fruit, and he stands up and he says to the group, First, I would like for the gladiators of today to come and stand before me. At which point, Vryn, Grain, Yeely, and Domashel get up and begin to walk to the center of the ground before Damezo. Craucus is kind of like looking around, like, what do I do? What do I do? In Metaconcert, he's like, what do I do? What do I do?
Is Craucus one of the gladiators?
Yeah.
Go with them. Just go with them and do exactly what I say.
Oh,
Okay, here we go.
So he gets up and he kind of looks around kind of stiff, and then starts to lumber his way around over and takes his position. Yeah, everybody assembled is clapping.
In meta concert, I tell Crowcus, remember, you're an entertainer, Crowcus. Make it entertaining.
Listen together and do what I say.
Okay.
Oh boy, here we go.
So when you say make it entertaining, Crowcus, as people are clapping, he gets up and he kind of starts raising his hands like this to the assembled group. Yes, we are the great gladiators of the day, the ones who deserve the first taste of the Faro fruit.
Okay, I would say, you are my great actor. Will you be? I am your director. Say back to me, Crocus. You are my director, Desi.
You are my director, Desi.
In your eyes, you idiot! I said, say back to me.
I did say back to you.
No, shush your mouth.
He's still saying this out loud. He's like, but I did say it back to you.
Shut your mouth right now. Shut your mouth right now.
At which point people are kind of clapping starts to slow down and people are looking at each other like, what?
Alright, you raise your arms, you say thank you. You put your arms down, you go quiet.
Thank you. Arms down, quiet.
Alright, I can live with this.
He has to say his stage directions. That's fine.
Easy says them quiet.
Now what? At which point, Damezo hands the tray to the slave, or back to the slave in front of him, and he turns and presents it first to Yeely.
Crocus, get in front of them between the mezzo and everyone else. Get on your knees and scream, we are not worthy.
Oh man. He can't really get, because there's only enough space for the person to basically turn around.
Push her away if you have to. Push her away.
Okay. I'm gonna get. Oh shit.
He's gonna get stuck with that new iron sword, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so hold on a second, because he steps forward and basically throws himself at the ground. He hits the slave holding the tray, who is going to have to make a dexterity save.
Oh no!
Okay.
If we could fall on the fire, that'd be even better.
No, he hits the tray, or he hits him, and then they go turning. They whirl back around, and give me just a second. I will do that. Let's try this.
Crocus is a blunt instrument.
The servant. The servant. It's too late. It's too late.
You have to be very specific.
Yeah, the servant basically takes a stumble forward, goes basically gets pushed, knocked, starts to fall, and basically is holding the tray out, desperately trying to contain the Faro fruit on the tray so that it doesn't go scatter everywhere. He hits the ground, but manages to hold the Faro fruit on the tray, just maybe 5 pieces scatter on the ground.
Good.
Meanwhile, Krauk is going, we're not worthy, and we're not worthy.
Yeah, really good.
At which point, you can see Damezo is outraged. There's a collective gasp from all of the other people assembled. And Damezo jumps to his feet and says, "Crocus, get to your feet! This is not behavior befitting House Ianto! Do not grovel before me!" And Crocus inside, he goes like, What do I do? What do I do?
Okay, listen to what I say. Oh, Jesus, I have to be way more eloquent than Emelie actually is. Say to him, 1,000 apologies, but we do not deserve such a worthy...
1,000 apologies, but we do not deserve such a... What was it?
Worthy recognition.
The recognition...
Please first distribute among your guests.
Please first distribute among your guests. What? Say that again?
This high honor.
This high honor.
We are not worthy. Our freedom is our prize.
We are not worthy. Our freedom is our prize.
It'll do.
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. Okay. Is he buying it at all?
Damezo's arms are crossed, and there's a scowl, a hateful scowl across his face. And he looks down to Crocus and he says, "Crocus, stand before me. Get up off your knees."
Stand before him.
He gets up slowly and, tries not to look at you, but he keeps glancing over your way.
That's fine.
And Damezo says, "You will eat the Faro fruit. You will eat and you will accept my hospitality, as is customary for all honored guests, given such a valuable prize. Do you hear me, Crocus?" Yeah. And he's glancing over at you, Desi. Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to into the... What do I know?
You didn't get to him soon enough. He finished his yes. And okay. Damezo says, "Fine, now take your place back next to the others. Unfortunately, I have to say that you will, because of your clumsiness, be partaking of the Faro fruit that you caused to fall upon the sands. But that should be reasonable, seeing as your fruit is usually of the blood of the sands of the gladiatorial arena. So you will eat the Faro fruit along with the grit, as is in recompense for your..."
Meta concert. Crocus survived the flux. Will he survive this?
Meanwhile, the servant is picking up the Faro fruit that fell on the sand, and it's all filled with grit and shit, because that Faro fruit's sticky and stuff. So,
I want to roll a medicine check on, I don't know, is he going to survive this poison based on his body mass, poison distribution?
You'll have to give me
I would also say, because it's covered in dirt, he has the excuse to pick it apart as if he's cleaning off pieces of it and actually just tear it to shreds.
Okay. And I'm going to do that medicine check now.
Your medicine check will be a disadvantage because you really don't know anything about poison. So it's going to be purely an educated guess.
Can I help? Because I do know about poison. His medicine, my poison.
If we're just thinking out loud, spitballing.
Yeah.
If he's picking apart the fruit under the skin, isn't this poison absorbable through the skin?
Is it?
If he's touching the rind, fine. But if he's pulling apart,
but it's not a touch poison. It's a digestion poison.
It's ingested.
It's an ingested poison.
He can touch it as much as he wants.
Yeah, it's not a contact.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, because keep in mind there are 4 types of poison in Athos. There are contact, ingested, injury, and inhaled poisons. So this is an ingested poison.
And if we're spitballing out loud, does that affect my disadvantage or no?
I mean, not really. I mean, it's just like you're making an educated guess based on what you understand of medicines at large, like medicines, but you really have no experience. The poisoner's craft is one of those things that's closely guarded by the bards. So,
but I would share it. I would share it.
But Desi, what would Desi's role be? Would that also be medicine?
With Desi, you could get a advantage on that, so they would basically cancel each other out.
There you go. That's something.
Cool. So I'm gonna roll.
Go for it.
13.
13. Typically, your standard, run-of-the-mill poisons would definitely get diluted the more you break them into the smaller the dose. Because remember, there's a saying amongst poisoners, it's the dose that makes the poison.
Oh, wait, this is... I'm sorry. I can guide myself on that.
That's a 14. Actually, I mean...
Literally,
doses is a medicine.
Literally, it's a 14.
Yeah, it doesn't. Your conclusion does not change.
Yeah.
I would definitely tell Crocus to pick it to pieces to get the sand off, and eat as little as possible. Destroy it.
You've got big hands, Crocus. Just get it on your hands.
Yeah, get on your nails, all kinds of stuff. You can.
Well, the person with the tray gets back up and once again presents it to Yeely. But at this point, it is the 5 sandy morsels that are presented. And Damezo even says, because the slave is going to starts to put the pieces back on the plate, and Damezo says, "Do not put those back on the plate. Use your hand." And so he does. He holds the pieces out to Yeely, the 5 pieces on his hand, and then distributes them to the 4 others.
When Crocus starts sort of mashing his to a paste, do any of the other gladiators catch on?
Crocus is, let's see, he's going to... God, I'm just going to make a wisdom check, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't even...
Everybody's already suspecting that Damezo wants to kill them, right? Yeah. That's not news. So, it should probably be running through at least the 3... probably everyone's mind that he might be trying to kill us.
Is there a dwarf
but keep in mind, Strabo just ate a third of this, so...
all right, fair point.
Is there a dwarf next to Crocus?
Yeah, Crocus is at the end of the line. Between him is Vryn and Grain, and then Yeely, and then Domashel.
Because out of all of these, we want one of the dwarves to live the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can I say, take the dwarf? Tell Crocus, get the sand off the dwarf's piece, with quotation marks around "get the sand."
Can you do
sand off
air quotes in Meta Concert? Does Meta Concert have air quotes?
You can share a memory of doing this.
Yeah. Get the sand off the dwarf's piece and give it back to him.
I am gonna make just a general roll for the group of them. Or I'll do for a couple of them.
I don't want to necessarily give away our ability, but I would warn one or both of the dwarves psychically if you'd want me to.
You could just tell everybody if this works, if Kraukus does this, tell everybody, do what he does with this piece of fruit, don't eat it.
I sort of feel like it's a group decision to tip our hand, but if you want me to do it, I will. I'll warn them right now.
At this point, though, before you can say anything, though, or do anything, the pieces have been distributed, and before anyone can make a move, Yeely steps forward and says, holds the piece up and bows her head, and says, "Thank you for this great honor and for the freedom that you have bestowed upon us. As in a show of respect to you and to your great house, we will wait until everyone else has had a chance to sample the fruit."
Someone's caught on.
There's,
take that?
though my friend here may have been clumsy and impetuous in his affirmation that we are not worthy, there is a sentiment that is correct. The rest of those assembled here are far worthier than we, and should taste of this delicacy before ones so humble as ourselves should. Damezo, give me insight checks.
24.
24?
Oh, Geza.
Nice.
23.
12
Okay.
from Ma'ak. That about checks out.
No, these rolls are correct.
And I got a 17.
17. Okay, so Geza and Desi, you notice the slightest hint of a knowing smirk cross Damezo's face. And he bows his head and he says, "You speak most eloquently, pure blood, Yanti. I will accept. The others shall partake of this fruit, and you may follow. Please feel free to step to the other side and await your turn." And all 5 of the gladiators basically take several steps back so that their backs are up against the wall of the palace behind. And they hold the fruit. Meanwhile, like, Kraukus is still like picking at it, doing what you told him to do to get the sand off, like basically pulverizing his piece of Faro fruit into oblivion.
Great. Great.
What are we led to believe about that knowing smirk?
That there is Yeely is doing something that he wanted her to do.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like it's one of those things, like, exactly what I was hoping for.
That's
So,
over, bitch.
yeah. At which point, Damezo nods to the person holding the tray and tells him to distribute the fruit around the table, beginning with his sister Kame. But he does say he does say to the everyone assembled, perhaps we should all partake of this at the same time. So take your piece of fruit. Take your piece of fruit, and please wait until we can all toast and enjoy the delicacy together as one. And everyone claps. Kame takes a piece and so on down the line, and then it circles back around. Daruish takes one, and then the two senators between him and you, Desi, and then the tray comes to you, Desi.
I'm going to take one piece for all 5 of us, is what I'm going to imply, and pass it on. And then we're all going to do the same thing.
What do you mean?
So, like, there are 5 of us, right? So I'll take a piece, like one piece for House Dorada.
Oh, no. Like, you take a piece, and then he steps to the side and holds it in front of Geza.
I take a piece, and in my mind I say, Desi, you're going to use your ability now.
Oh, god damn it!
Just yet, let a lot of these asshole senators and whoever else could probably afford to get killed today to eat it. These are friends of House Ianto. Nobody here is a good person.
But
all need the fruit.
we're all supposed to eat it simultaneously.
Right. So
the moment that she's holding it, she would test it as a matter of habit. And if she doesn't call it out, then she's intentionally conspiring to poison people.
When I take my piece, I'm going to look directly at Damezo with wide, oh my god, what the fuck eyes. What does he do when I lock eyes with him?
He turns to you and basically just gives you a weird scrutinizing glance. He's too far away from you to like ask you what the problem is.
You could just hold it up and...
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of like hold this up at him and be like, what are you doing? Like almost accusing? Like, what are you doing?
At
which point, I mean, the tray continues to go down the line. You know, Geza, you can take.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let everybody get a piece.
Yeah, but you're doing this. I mean, like it's not stopping the pieces getting delivered as you're doing this. But at which point Damezo does hold his hand up and says, "Miss Dorata, is there a problem?"
And I'm going to give him one of them looks that says, you know what I know, and I'm not going to say it in front of everybody, you motherfucker, but you know what I know, and I know that you know what I know. And that's going to hold for like a solid beat. And I'm going to say, as the newest members of House Ianto, we cannot accept. And I'm going to take Geza's piece and anybody else who took one and put them back on the tray. And then I'm going to lock eyes with them again and walk back in place.
Wait, who are you taking them from?
I'm taking any of my people, like Ma'ak, Geza, or Cha'ar.
I'll give you my piece. I don't care.
Yeah, and I'm going to pointedly put them back on the tray and walk back to my table.
As you do this, he says, he calls to his slave, and he says, "You there, stop. I want you to go back around and collect everybody's Faro fruit. Mr. Atta, come here. Stand in front of me. Now."
Do you want Ma'ak with you?
Say again?
Do you want Ma'ak with you?
Well, you're there with me in the same
Well,
room.
no, but I'm not going to get up.
No.
Unless you want me to come with,
No. Everybody stay cool. Everybody stay cool.
Ma'ak basically, like, beneath, like, the table has just loosed his chachkachas, just in case.
You don't know. He can do what he wants. He's a grown-ass.
I'm a grown-ass bug. I'm almost 7.
Damezo says to you once you stand in front of him, he says, "I do hope that you have a good explanation to share with everyone here of why you insulted your host just now and everyone around by refusing the Faro fruit and forcing your companions to place theirs back on the tray."
So I will say out loud, I do believe you heard me say that as the newest additions to House Ianto, we are not wealthy. And then I'm going to lower my voice and I'm going to say, and I hope you have an excuse for telling me why you are handing out tainted fruit.
Tainted fruit. So,
Keep
we
your
come
voice
to
down.
it. Our friend here says that there is a taint in the fruit. What form of taint have you discovered, and how would you know that such a thing is tainted?
I'm going to say over meta concert, I think I just walked into a trap.
But you have an excuse. You
Well, it
have
doesn't
an ability
matter.
that you can prove again.
Right. Just
So what-
I know it's
I'm
against
going-
your better nature or whatever nature, but just tell the truth about your ability and only that truth.
Okay, so I'm going to say to Damezo, I am going to recommend you lower your voice because this does not look good on you for me to speak aloud.
There is no point lowering voices any longer. All assembled know that you suspect there is taint within the Faro fruit. So please do explain to me, my father, my sister, and all those assembled why you believe the Faro fruit is tainted.
I'm going to turn around to everyone very humbly and say, it is a skill of mine when holding in my hand anything that has poison, I will know that it is poisoned. And I'm going to look very, very sadly.
There is a collective gasp that goes across everyone, and people like immediately start like wiping their hands off on their clothes, dipping their hands in their wine, rubbing. Like everyone is like freaking like out. At which point Damezo stands up and says, "Please, gentlefolk, I'm sure that we are safe at the moment. What else can you tell us of this so-called poison?"
I cannot tell you of the poison. I only know what is or is not poisoned. Of the specifics, I can receive no information.
You see Strabo go,
But it is good to draw.
no, I just heard of it already, son. Father, we will do what we can for you. And he turns back to you and he says, Mr. Atta, if it is true that this fruit is poisoned, you are forever in our gratitude. And we will do what we can for you and your comrades. But please, for the moment, take your seat. I have things to deal with. And he turns his head towards Yeely. You, Yonti, stand before me, along with the rest of your gladiator friends. Half-giant, you can be excused. You're not part of this. And Yeely takes a step forward. Why don't we take our 10-minute break right now before Damezo lays into Yeely?
I'm having thoughts.
Yeah, think about your next steps and yeah. So we're gonna take 10, and I don't think I have a screen for that. So I'm just going to, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We're just gonna have blank screens, and we're gonna be here, and you can hear us, and what the fuck ever. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. We'll be right back. All right, so we are back. We're having a little bit of conversation in the interim. One of the things that I had mentioned was that it's become pretty evident now to the group of you. I mean, I'm not even going to make you roll insights because one of you, the difficulty is low enough that one of you would get this. And be able to impart this to the rest of the group. It's obvious that you are becoming basically a thorn in the side of Damezo's plans, and that he has been forced into a place where he's having to shift and change direction in order to keep things moving the way that he wants them going, because of your interference with what's happening. Obviously, you are not the target of his ire. Otherwise, I mean, there's been plenty of opportunities for him to basically, deal with you the way he is seemingly about to deal with Yeely. Having said that, the one thing I will say is you're still at a loss of what his real goal here is. Is he trying to kill everyone here? Is he after the gladiators? What's his deal? And a lot of that has to do, again, with, like I said before, the dose makes the poison.
Well, in our meta conversation before we came back, Geza just said to me something that I think is very quotable. And I'm going to take the advice, which is don't hesitate to lose the hand. Because I was about to fight back on this, what's happening here, but I appreciate the wisdom of that, and I think I'm going to just step back and watch.
What do you mean by don't
hesitate to lose the hand? We have a bigger game.
Yeah.
To play. This is the dwarves are not as they're not the most important piece of this.
And the poison takes an hour. It tells us a lot in an hour.
Right.
Especially if you're sharing memories. So.
Well, unfortunately, now they're gonna be killed by sword or something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's.
Also, at this point, I mean, Strabo is kind of losing his mind, and it's like, oh my god, what do I do? At which point, Damezo has to turn back away from he has to redirect his ire away from Yeely to his father, and he glances off at a couple more of the household slaves and says, please, take my father to his chambers and tend to him. And he turns back.
What about the daughter? How did she react knowing her father's poisoned?
I mean, she's obviously shocked. She did a similar thing to the rest of the people. She immediately started to wash her hands, and threw most of the Faro fruit was basically thrown down into the sand. And she's now just there observing what's happening, sort of the same way everyone else is. Bated breath, waiting to see what is next. Very confused, very uncertain. So unless you have any other meta concerts or actual interjections you want to make, okay, Damezo turns his ire back towards Yeely and he says, you have attempted this before, and you have failed before. How dare you? I gave you the opportunity today, an opportunity so few are ever given. A chance to win your freedom, and you did. And not only did you win your freedom, you helped win the freedom for those around you. And you took as your prize a steel sword of vast value. And this is how you repay the house that has kept you alive for so long with treachery? But sir, master, You are not free yet. It was not I. Silence! Your lies will be brooked no longer. Who else was involved? Who else helped you?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Were the gladiators ever around the Faro fruit? Was the Faro fruit about?
What do you mean?
Would there have been an opportunity?
Damezo saw it the whole time. Or
yeah,
what?
would there have been an opportunity for any of the gladiators to have actually poisoned the fruit before it was served?
Not during this day. Or at least not while you've been here. So, I mean, the Faro fruit's been here for a few days, though. So it was out of your custody for some
At
time.
least a day.
Yeah, at least a day.
So it's plausible, and it wouldn't be a thing that, if we chose to, that we could.
It would be difficult for you to prove otherwise.
Right.
Outside of saying, "Oh, hey, by the way, we're the ones that poisoned it."
I have it on good authority that Yuli did not do that.
Yeah. but you can see at this point, Yili is just gone silent and kind of is staring straight at the ground. And give me insights for her.
Okay.
Because I guess she's not actually doing that. Sorry, she's not staring at the ground.
A natural 20,
Whoa!
adjusted 27, natural
Okay.
20.
Hey. Well, I mean, nobody else needs to roll, but so reverse that. She's not gone inward. She's not gone back inside herself. Yuli is standing there defiant. She's staring directly into Damezo's eyes, with her head held high, with this sort of like look of quiet resignation, determination, but integrity and pride. And you get a strong sense from her that she's well aware that this is exactly what Damezo was attempting to do from the beginning, is create a situation where he could finally get her, and get her in an open way, and be done with her. And so she knows what Damezo, you can tell she understands what Damezo wants and plans to do. And she's not going to bow before him ever again. And Damezo even says, "How dare you stare at me with that smug expression? Avert your gaze, slave!" And she doesn't. And then he turns to the other gladiators, the two dwarves, Vryn, Grain, and Domishel. Is like, "You three, you were involved, weren't you? You've all been plotting against me from the beginning. I know it. Daruish, come before me." At which point the Defiler gets up and walks out around and comes and stands before Damezo. And he says to Daruish, "Use your sorcery. Find the truth." "Sir, come to me, Daruish." "Very well." And he steps forward, and Damezo motions to him with his fingers.
Did anybody know that this dude was a sorcerer?
I think we had an
We knew, but the people sitting here didn't. Did they?
There's, I mean, like, some people, like, don't seem to be, like, affected by it. Some other people, like, start going, like, "Oh, did you know that he was a... news to me."
Alright, so it's not the weirdest news. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. And, I mean, some people are, kind of surprised that he's being so open about it. And some people are going like, do you think he's a defiler? Like, I don't know. Perhaps he's a preserver. No one would use defiling magic in the open.
Look at that guy.
Yeah,
Do you really think he's a preserver?
Yeah. And so yeah, but Damezo whispers something in like he covers his mouth and he whispers something in Dawarish's ear, so that nobody else can see like his lips. And Dawarish looks back to him with a bit of kind of scrutiny, and he goes, "Very well." And he turns, and he looks to one of the dwarves, and he says, he just kind of randomly points, and he says, "You there.
You.
Come here. I'm going to cast something on you, and if you resist, Damezo is going to have you executed. Do you understand?" Yes. And it's Vryn that came forward. Yes.
Vryn the monk, or is Vryn the other dude?
Vryn is one of the dwarven fighters. The monk. No. Vryn. I think Vryn was the
a monk.
Yeah. Hold on, just a second.
Sun monk or something like that.
Vryn is fighter. He's the fighter.
Okay.
And he goes, "Very well. I won't resist." And he says, and he whispers something in Vryn's ear as well. He goes down and he says something. And he says, and then Vryn looks at him like all of a sudden, like, but, and you can see like there's a moment where Vryn goes, but, and then he puts his hands forward and he begins to say something in a language that none of you recognize. And you can see like his hands are forming these bizarre forms in the air around him, and Vryn has become completely enraptured by Daruish, and he holds him there, and he says, "Now, dwarf, tell me, you were part of this plot, weren't you?" "Yes, I was." "You aided Yeely in planting the poison in the Faro fruit, did you not?" "Yes, I did." "And you, as well as your companion Grain and Domashel, they aided you as well, yes?" "Yes, they did." "This poison, it was meant to kill all in attendance? Yes?" "Yes, it was." "You swear this?" "Yes." "Yes, I swear it." And then he lets go.
The other dwarf, like, lose his mind?
Yeah, the other dwarf starts, like, he's looking around, and so is Domashel. You can see Yeely is just standing there stony-faced, like, figures. But Domashel and Grain are both going like, "What? No! No! We had nothing to do with this! These are lies! Vryn lies!" And Daruish turns to the host and says, "These cannot be lies. I used a spell that extracts only the truth from the individual."
I rolled an Arcana check. And it was a 12 plus 1, so 13. Do I know what he cast?
No, you have no idea.
Okay.
At which point...
In Metaconcert, I say, Char, do you recognize what that is? You should roll an Arcana check also.
Yeah. I think Ma'ak has a pretty high Arcana. Yeah, it is. Can I roll 2, or is that only applying to psionics?
5? Yeah, no, Char does no idea.
That's a bad roll. I mean, Ma'ak, you might have the ancestral knowledge of it or something.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. It's an intelligence roll, so let's see what I get. All right. I roll an 11, but yeah, I'll spend a point and re-roll that.
It said 16 on my screen.
I rolled a 16.
Oh, now I have a 19.
19.
Well, that's better.
Wait, you said spend a point to re-roll? What is that?
That's a
I
special
that.
feature he's got.
It's brain.
It's I can access my ancestors' memories of stuff. Sometimes, if I fail a roll, I can spend a point to re-roll and see if I can know anything.
So does 19 tell us what it is?
19. Okay. Yeah, you're pretty sure that you have a vague memory of a spell like this from your past, wherein a defiler forced one of your former selves to do something you did not want to do. Planting in you a suggestion of what you should do.
To agree with whatever I said.
Yeah. Well, no, to do what he told you to do. It didn't take this form where it was like, you know, tell me some shit. It was like that one. It was like you were actually forced to like fulfill some, little weird quest that he wanted you to do for him.
All right.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a dark application of what is already a dark operation. So
How you would explain
however,
this
I
to
don't know
anyone,
if
you're not
this
really
would-
sure if you could, but yeah.
I'm sorry.
I said how you would really explain this understanding is difficult.
I will probably just say over meta concert, the defiler stole that dwarf's will and made him lie.
You didn't need to tell me that.
I know you know, but I didn't know that he could do that. That makes him very dangerous.
Yeah. Damezo then says, Souza, guards, take them and relieve Yili of the sword that she won. The sword of House Ianto.
That should go to...
Yeah, and then all the guards around like swarm the group. Souza leaps over the table, like somersaults over, and basically draws his chained whip and lashes it out and grapples Yili with it, and draws her close. And then Damezo says, "Take these vermin to the dungeons where they belong. I'll deal with them tomorrow."
You want to kill them, lend them
Yeah.
to us for our desert sojourn. We could use the cannon fodder.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah, as like a throwaway.
Oh, yeah. Damezo kind of glances at his shoulder, like over his shoulder to you, and is like, "You don't need such treacherous lot with you. They'll surely kill you in your sleep."
Don't underestimate us. Whatever, you do you.
Vryn and this is the point where Vryn seems to come out of it, and he's completely just gobsmacked, like kind of taken back. You can just see he's like, but, and then Grain and Domishel are both like, "But we didn't, my lord, we didn't have anything to do with this," and they struggle the whole way as they get dragged off. Basically, north, up, and around to the left, and through a doorway back over towards the front, which leads into like where the barracks and stuff are on the north side of the keep. After this, Damezo apologizes profusely to everyone in attendance and says, "Please, this has put a pall upon our celebration, and I regret that we will not be able to partake of the Faro fruit as a community. But let us put this past us. I am going to go tend to my father, see if he is going to be okay. And my household staff, Please, more food, more wine. Let us put this past us. Music, dancers, please. And he gets up and he kind of storms off to the palace, leaving everybody there to kind of like go hubbub. Be like, ooh, peas and carrots, peas and carrots. Oh, peas and carrots. Intrigue. Ooh, how delightful. Like you can see people are positively titillated by what's happened tonight. This will be the talk of Tyr tomorrow and for days to come.
I'm curious. I thought Daruis was like on our side, or
I mean, he still works for Damezo.
okay.
He works for Damezo. He is a defiler. The defilers don't trust what Damezo is going to do, so they want us to work with them to stop whatever he has planned.
Okay, but he's still gonna do whatever Damezo tells him to.
And unless he feels like he has a better option.
Okay. Okay.
But in public, probably.
Okay.
We don't want him pointed at us.
But he also is in cahoots with us. Like he is like a
Right,
resource
but if
for us.
Damezo said these motherfuckers poisoned my fruit, get them, he would get us.
Would he?
Yes, for sure.
Because he sure does not seem to want Damezo to do well and is relying on us to be a resource to disrupt him.
It's subterfuge, and he's also not sure what the not-so-elf or the possible elf guy is capable of.
Mm-hmm.
He's willing to lose a hand.
He's also willing to lose his hand.
I think he wants to live.
Like, yeah, it was like, this isn't the hill to die on.
Yeah.
No one,
Right.
This is a hill that no one should die on.
Okay.
What are you getting at though, Desi? What do you want him to do? Or what do you want to get out of him?
No, I'm really just trying to like take everybody's just measure of him. I just wanted the measure of him.
Okay. What did Souza do when Damezo ran off? Did he just sit back down and keep drinking, or did he go with him?
Souza helped cart the traitors away.
With the big brass band.
Yeah. Daruish remains behind for the moment. Takes his place next to Kame, because at this point the gap between Daruish and Kame is completely vacated. Strabo's gone, Damezo's gone, Souza's gone, and so that leaves the two of them to sit next to each other. And Daruish does go back, and you can overhear him asking her if she's okay.
Does Daruish know that we poisoned it?
I don't think you know.
No. Nobody outside our group knows.
Give me a.
I don't know. I don't remember. Geza might have told
Insight,
him.
Aaron? Was that an insight?
No.
No,
This is not an insight. You need to give me a perception. Give me perception checks.
Perception checks all around. 16 from Geza.
24 from Desi. Oh, that's a natural 20 from me. I rolled a nat 20.
Char rolled a 4.
Okay. And Mark?
Oh, I'm sorry. What roll do you need?
Perception.
Sorry.
And I don't fully remember if we told Daruish about the poison or not.
I think Ma'ak would have squashed it.
No, you didn't. You didn't say shit about the poison. Yeah, no, you didn't say anything about the poison.
And Ma'ak only rolled an 8, so whatever's going on.
Okay, well, Desi, you're the only one. You're sitting there, and there's guards kind of posted up, intervals everywhere, and sort of diagonal down on the corner, like this kind of like protruding portion of the palace here. At the south corner of that that part of the building, there's a guard standing there who keeps like glancing. You notice like he keeps glancing over in your direction, and then you lock eyes, and there's a moment where you're like, you recognize him, but not from here. And then it comes to you. He was one of the servants, one of the household slaves. Well, not household slaves, but he was a servant in the employ of Nerissa. The night that you were at the symposium, Nerissa's symposium, where you got like shit-faced, completely fucking shit-faced. He was there, one of the household servants. And Nerissa is the one who gave you the poison.
So what am I supposed to make of this?
That's all. That's all I'm saying. Is like
He's moonlighting. That's all.
He was there.
Weekend job.
He was there at Nerissa's symposium as a household servant. Nerissa's the one that gave you the poison.
But what do I intuit? Like, is he looking at me like, haha, I know it was you, or is he looking at me like, what's up? How's he looking at us?
Well, when that moment comes where the two of you lock eyes and you get that moment of recognition, he realizes that you got that recognition. At which point he puts his head down, turns, calls another guard over, was like says something, and then like leaves and goes around the corner in the opposite direction around the palace away from you, so that you're no longer he's no longer like in your presence. Like he's like ducks out of there really quick.
Yeah, he might be Nerissa's spy. So.
Yeah.
Follow him. I follow him.
Okay.
I will give everyone the what's up over the mental what's it.
Okay. So you jump up and you start making your way. At this point, like, people are no longer sitting really so much. They're starting to kind of like mingle back the way that they were before everybody sat down. So you kind of have to push your way through groups of people, make your way around some dancers and musicians, and around the corner. Give me an investigation check.
Oh, he's a stealthy guard, is he? Stealthy and all that plate armor. No, what? Ah, I got a 9.
9. When you round that corner, he's gone. You're not sure where he went.
What if I just yell, "Oi!"
I mean, there's other guards kind of like pacing back and forth around. There's other people wandering kind of like away from the central group now over in this area too. There's household servants and slaves kind of walking back and forth. So you can yell "Oi!" and a bunch of people. You can yell.
Which way did he go?
I mean, you can ask somebody. There's plenty of people. You see some guards. You see some slaves. You see some other just party goers. It's up to you if and who you want to ask.
I'm gonna ask the guards because I think they have the best likelihood of knowing who I'm talking about if I describe him. In detail.
Literally, the man who replaced him just spoke to him. He's right there.
But he wouldn't have seen where he went, would he?
I mean,
No.
He probably said, "I'm going here. Can you fill in for me?"
Oh, it's up to you.
Ah, good. I'm gonna go punch that guy in the shoulder and say, where'd he go? The man you replaced, where'd he go? And what'd he say to you?
He was going to relieve himself, madam. But Marcus, the latrines are... Yeah, Marcus said he was going to relieve himself. The latrines are in the southwest corner, or in the southwest tower for the guards.
Uh-huh.
Why?
Thank you. I'm gonna go in that direction.
Okay.
Oh, and then I'm gonna go
At which point he goes like
in the way and say, Did you see Marcus go to the latrines? Like one of the guards in between the latrines.
As you leave, you hear that guard go, God God damn it, Marcus always gets the good ones. You remember Marcus was one of the attendants at Nerissa's who was completely in the nude, and he's a very handsome, svelte man. So this guard thinks that he's getting some.
Okay, so I'm going to make use of this. Every guard I run by, I'm going to just say, which way did Marcus go? Which way did Marcus go? Which way did Marcus go?
Okay. One by one, they look at you and go, "Oh, miss, I believe he went back that way towards the latrines in the southwest tower, but guests aren't allowed in the guard latrines. You don't want to go there."
Yes, I do. You take me.
Very well. And one of the guards escorts you to the latrine and says, "They're through those doors, miss."
Is this the only exit?
There's the exit through the second floor that leads up onto the upper wall.
What fancy latrines?
Well, you're entering into the southwest tower. So the latrines are in the tower, but there are stairs that lead up to the second floor and out onto the catwalk that leads around the upper level of the fortress.
Okay. I'm just going to try to make quick work and call for him and just say, just call for Marcus, look, open the door to the latrines and say, Marcus.
Yeah. You open up and the tower itself is a big open space. If you look towards the map, you can see on the south side of the tower, there are stairs that lead up. All along the wall, the guard outside goes, "Miss, the latrines are up on the second floor." Down here, it's like an armory. There's racks filled with armor and weapons and such.
So I will go to second floor.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm not really going to worry about the map. Okay, so you go up the second floor, and you can see up there are a few, there's like 2 doors on the outside wall to the, like in the western wall. And then there is a doorway that leads out of the north side of the tower and outside the east side of the tower, which you assume leads to the upper catwalk. You can see that both of those doors that seem to go into probably the latrines, and these are probably the classic style of castle latrines where, you know, like you shit out the side of the fucking tower. And both of those are closed, but one of the doorways, the doorway that leads to the north catwalk, is slightly ajar.
I'll go to the north catwalk, and what do I see if I look in the north catwalk?
You open it up, of course it's dark outside, and you can see that there are a couple guards kind of standing, looking out, and you can see, just as you open the door, another individual kind of hurriedly rushes through a door at the opposite side of the catwalk into the north tower, the northwest tower.
Was it Marcus? Does he fit the description?
It's dark, so it's hard to tell. It's further than 60 feet, so your dark vision doesn't really... I can't remember if half-elves have dark vision or not. I think they do. But whether or not you do, it's a little bit out of your range, but so it's hard to tell if that was Marcus or not.
Can I sprint and catch him?
Yeah, you can start running, at which point the one of the guards steps forward and says, "Oh, miss, you can't be up here."
I'm just, can I just, I'm gonna try to blow by him and just call, "Marcus, stop, I need to talk to you."
Give me a, shit, what should you give me on this one? Give me an intimidation check.
14.
14. Okay, I think that's good enough to kind of take this guard kind of off balance. As you just blow right past him, and he just kind of stands there going like, Miss! Yeah. And you blow past him, you sprint, you make up some distance, you get into the North Tower, and you can see Marcus running up the stairs to the very top of the tower, where you were yesterday with Sousa, or earlier today with Sousa.
He's running up to Sousa's room?
No, like where you first met Sousa, up on the parapet of the top of the tower.
That wasn't Sousa's room. He was just overlooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just up there brooding.
Yeah.
First, I'm going to say, Marcus, stop running from me. We are allies. But also, there's no chance in hell he's faster than me. Not in armor.
Yeah.
You are part elf, after all.
He you as you yell that out, he just makes it through the top trapdoor, and you can hear it close shut behind him.
Kick it open.
Okay. Yeah, so you jump up to the top of the tower. You're up there in the parapet. The 2 moons of Athos are shining bright in the actually the quite frigid night air at this point. The temperature is dropping close to freezing at this point. The bonfires and braziers down at the feast were keeping everyone warm, but up here there's a cold, chilling wind that howls across the top of the fortress. And Marcus stands kind of up against the parapet, looking at you, sort of desperately looking around, like, it's like, there's nothing I can tell you, Madam. Return to the party. There's nothing I can tell you.
No, stop. Calm down. Calm down. Why are you so distressed to see me?
What do you want?
Nothing. Calm down. Calm down. You are making me very nervous.
Just stay there. Don't come any closer.
Okay. Why are you so frightened of me?
What do you want?
I will do you no harm. You are a friend of Narissa, no?
You can see like he's like really starting to get like crazy, and he just looks, and he goes, I can't tell you anything.
Okay.
Don't. And he turns.
I won't ask.
He's like,
I won't ask. Don't jump. I won't ask anything. Okay, I'm sorry I've frightened you. Can we please come down off the parapet?
fine. I'll come back downstairs with you.
Okay. I'll open the trap door for him to come downstairs.
As you open the trap door, you hear a clatter, and you look back, and he's not there anymore.
Shit!
He jumped off the parapet.
I'm gonna go back into Medicare concert and be like, what the fuck was that?
We have no idea what happened.
Well,
you can share your memories if you
Yeah, I'll show you.
But
Yeah, when you run over to the edge of the parapet,
that building.
Yeah, and when you run over to the edge and look down, you can see his broken body amongst the obsidian shards at the base of the tower.
What was that about?
that was extreme.
Well, good thing nobody saw your face on your way to talk to Marcus.
Right? No shit.
You might want to take another way down.
I really don't think the auntie are gonna give a shit if I'm a little bit of a murderer. Oh my god.
Well, is it possible that you had it reversed? Since he always gets the good ones, maybe he's worked for Ianto for a while. Maybe he was Damezo's spy in Nerissa's house. That's how you saw him for the first time.
Give me an insight check, Desi. And Ma'ak, since the two of you are engaged in this. I guess all of you engaged could have... I guess you could all try.
You silly sleepers and your relationships.
Oh my goodness, I just got the worst. I got a 6.
I rolled a natural 1 for a total of 8.
Let's see if Ma'ak is can crack the nut of human intrigue. Ooh, how about a 20? A dirty 20, but I'll take it.
I got an 18.
An 18? Well, then I think 18, 20 both do it. What if Marcus... So, like, suddenly things are starting to click into place for Ma'ak and Cha'ar. It was really convenient that Damezo was willing to go so long. Before, like, at what point was someone going to speak up and do the thing that Damezo needed to be done, which was identify that there's poison in the Faro fruit so that he could finger Yeely?
Mm-hmm.
And if Marcus was a spy inside Nerissa's house, and Nerissa is the one who sold you or gave you the poison.
He thought I was going to kill him.
No, I mean, for Ma'ak and Cha'ar, what you think is Damezo already knew who you were through Marcus and what you could feasibly do. And he was waiting for you to do it, so he could do what he was going to do to Yeely. Make sense?
Wait, did Nerissa know that you could detect poison?
How would Marcus know that she could detect poison?
Well, Nerissa told him, but did she know?
I don't think anybody knew that I... Unless she...
that was always like your number one secret, right? Because it was the reason you were so valuable, but it also ties to your past. And could, you could be identified as Tara Yidris then, right? Because she had this unique, pretty rare.
Well, also, my brother knew. And my brother... We don't know what connections my brother had.
Yeah, but if your brother knew you were here, we would have been attacked by now. Or he would have shown up, right? So
not here, but Nerissa was back in...
Was Nerissa from New York?
No. So, oh God, she's not from Europe. Where do we... My brother knew because we met the fella that he sent. Remember our new friend?
Oh, La Jabiche, right?
Yeah.
No,
that's his partner.
The guy with a voice.
Pressure Vey.
Pressure
Vey. So...
And Pressure Vey is the one that set you up with Nerissa.
And Pressure Vey, so she knew. She knew.
Fuck. Pressure would have sold you out. He didn't give a shit.
Well, he might not have even necessarily... we don't know whether or not it was intentional.
Well, and also she did give you a pretty boss poison. He might have had to convince her that you were worthy of getting it in the first place, and so oh by the way.
But he also spent a lot of time there not being our friends.
Yeah, the insight that you gain from this Ma'ak and Cha'ar is that if Marcus was indeed a spy for House Ianto, then Nerissa may have never known what information Marcus was delivering to House Ianto.
Oh, because she was a spy for Ianto. Right, he was a spy for Ianto, not for Nerissa.
Theoretically. That's the insight.
That makes more sense also from a fear position. He would commit suicide rather than face Damezo's wrath. He wouldn't commit suicide over Nerissa. Probably.
Wait, so what's the story with Marcus from beginning to end?
He works for Ianto. He does spycraft at Nerissa's on behalf.
And what did he learn at Nerissa's? What did he know at Nerissa's?
That we got poison from her, theoretically. And
But did he learn that and that I can detect poison?
not necessarily, just that we had the poison and
I don't think he knew that because his reaction was one waiting for someone who only would admit that they had poisoned something because they were forced to eat it.
Yeah, but
That's why he cut it up and spread it around.
but remember,
He wasn't going to eat it.
the only possible person in right now, as far as you know, the only possible person in Tyr who knows what you really can do is Pressure Vey, and then theoretically Pressure Vey could have sold that information to Nerissa.
Could have given that information to Marcus.
Or Marcus could have overheard it.
Or you could have learned it.
So Marcus could have been in the room when Pressure Vey gave Nerissa the info, or we don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
it
stands to reason he could have learned it.
Yeah.
Alternately, he could just have known that Nerissa intended to poison Damezo, and that we were delivering that poison.
So what's the implication concerning the amount of time between when the fruit was distributed and when the fruit was discovered to be poisoned that Aaron pointed out?
That's kind of irrelevant. It was distributed to force us or you to disclose that the fruit was poisoned rather than eating it.
Yeah, and then theoretically also get rid of Strabo. That's the convenience side effect.
Oh yeah, no, that part's clear. We know that, but that's just to make room for him. That's I don't want to say a reasonable act, but that makes sense, right?
But we have to
the intrigue to unravel is, I think he was trying to get you to admit, we're the ones who somebody here poisoned this fucking thing, trying to get whoever that was to admit that they had done it rather than eat it. That's why he smiled or smirked when Yeely passed, because it's like, well, if you knew it was poison, you'd pass, right? So you can walk right into my trap later when I need it, right? Because we know he set her up, right? So he used this as a way to get rid of his gladiators, because the whole thing with the Brexit didn't work, right? Now, he expected you, the way he was talking sounded like someone who expected you to admit that you knew it had been poisoned, not that you had this weird wild talent. I don't think he knew that. I think it was more like the logistic thing he was trying to get you to have to admit. Now, that's why it throws a wrench in the plan, because you were the one who poisoned it, but because you have this power, it gives you this sort of get out of jail thing. So that worked.
But we have to assume that he knows that we did poison the fruit.
Why do we have because
Nerissa gave us the poison and Marcus
gave us the poison, and in theory he connected it. So it was clearly in our possession at one point. That
he would
idea.
have only tried to pressure us to. The session that I wasn't there, did they say how they knew it was poisoned when you overheard their conversation?
No.
No, I don't think so.
We don't know that they detected it. We just know that they knew it was poisoned. They could have just known it was poisoned because they knew about the plan since before we got there. Marcus knew that there was going to be poison in the fruit.
Right, so we still don't know for sure whether or not Damezo knows that we poisoned it.
I don't see how he couldn't have if he was trying to force a confession from us.
Unless he knew that I can detect poison.
I don't think he knew you could have detected poison.
Which is less likely.
But if he was, I think the flaw in that logic is if he was sure that our group was the one to poison it, why cut it up into so many little pieces so that everyone would get a bite? That's not very Athasian, right? It's more like, all right, well, you'll get the next bite because three chomps out of this thing and it's gone, right? Dad, me, you, guest of honor who poisoned it. And you'd be like, no thanks, bullshit, right? As opposed to chop that up and spread it around. One of you motherfuckers did it. I don't know who, but whoever doesn't eat it is suspicious.
Well, keep in mind, too, the insight that you got, which was that Damezo, you got this sense that Damezo, realized that you guys were trying to basically thwart his attempts. And so he was having to course correct in the moment. So theoretically, him deciding to cut it all up into little pieces was like a last minute thing that he just like came up with in the moment to try to force Desi to take a piece.
Because his first attempt was making Crowcus eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you were going to let him do that, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
he knew
all
I was
right.
going to speak up.
One way or another.
Presumably-
Yeah.
So
But
now we're
presumably because he knew I poisoned it.
Presumably.
So
Not
are we
because
assuming
he
now
knows.
that he knows that we if we're assuming now that he knows we're poisoned, we're in fucking mortal danger right now. We are in the den of our enemies, surrounded by their soldiers. We have to flee, or
But not necessarily because he wanted it poisoned.
Yeah, we did what he wanted. But he knows.
It's not like we came in out of the blue and attacked. It was like, this was the plan. We're just the pawn.
but why would he forgive us for doing it?
Because
Anyway,
he
even though
set
it
it
fell
up so
into
we
his
would.
plans, it doesn't matter. We attacked his house. Whether he turned it to his advantage or not is not the point.
No, he
If
didn't
we're the
turn
ones
it to
who-
his advantage. It was his plan from the beginning. It wasn't like he found out we poisoned him and then he turned it to his advantage. It was, I need someone to poison me so I can poison my father. These are the fuckers that are gonna do it. It wasn't, you know. So I feel like now I want to talk to Damezo. I want to find Damezo and just have it out.
All right. Let's see what he has to say for himself.
I'm gonna charge back down through the building and just say hi to everyone I pass.
I'm not going to make you roll
Now
for any of
on,
that. Yeah.
I think that while we should maintain metaconcert, I don't think we should get out of each other's eye line anymore. I think we should stay as the within arm's reach as a clutch until we know we're safe.
Is there... I know you can reach into people's minds, Ma'ak. You have to see them to reach into their minds?
Let me consult my ability. Hold on.
I have to pee again. I'll be right back. Don't say anything interesting or informative.
I'll try to be
Alright.
boring and dumb.
It is within 500 feet. But all I have to do is be telepathically communicating with them. I don't actually have to see them. They have to be within 500 feet, but otherwise, as long as I've, connected with them, which I can do. Usually I need to see them to do it for the first time, unless you're like in the clutch or whatever.
Right.
But like, that's not a big deal. I mean, this isn't that big a place.
Reaching into Damezo's mind is what I'm curious about.
It doesn't work, remember?
Oh, he had the block. He had the block from Sousa.
Sousa is blocking him,
Right.
presumably. So they're both on lock, psychically or whatever. Yeah, that's super frustrating. We tried that already, but yeah, I would have liked to. Do you really think he's hesitating and gonna execute them all in the morning? Or is he just taking them in a room somewhere to stab them?
I don't. Geza is adrift. Geza doesn't know what's up.
Because, I mean, you would think that he would make a spectacle out of their execution, like in front of everyone, unless he's gonna really drag it out and make a big thing out of it tomorrow.
You do get a sense that Damezo is really sadistic.
Yeah, well, if
that's-
they're in his
Prolonging their
power.
suffering is more enjoyable than nipping it in the bud.
Well, that's his problem in the first place. He fed all these people to a fucking monster rather than just killing them in their sleep, like he could have any hundred of times. So yeah, that's going to be his downfall if he waited. Because now let's rescue those gladiators, and they'll owe us something forever.
I'm. Do we have? We can't just fight everyone here and win, can we?
Kraukus might get out alive, and if Hoxa came to our aid, we could cause some damage, but I wouldn't bet on it. I don't want to win this by force if we can help it. Let's make our enemies kill each other. I'm fine with that.
I wonder. I feel like we should tell Daruish that we might be targeted before we leave.
Or do you want to talk into my magic stone and see if?
I mean,
if
I thought we might be able to do some awesome spycraft and leave here in peace and leave some spying stones in important locations around the building. But I don't think if we say anything to the stones, they'll know that it happened, but they're not going to come for us.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably true.
Daruish is here and powerful. Maybe he would do something. I don't know. Or if that would just motivate him to turn on us faster. I don't know. Are we only his allies if he thinks we can be used to infiltrate Damezo?
Well, I'll say at this point, Desi is able to reconnoiter with the rest of the group. And also at this point, people have dispensed with any kind of dining formalities. Tables have actually been picked up and removed to the outer extremes or limits of the courtyard. And people have once again started to commingle.
Let's go full spy mode.
Okay.
You can make any one of us or all of us functionally invisible, right?
For 1 minute.
Eesh.
And then I have to refocus the way again. And I am I need to rest soon enough. I can keep up Metaconstant for a little while longer, but that alone has been what I've been budgeting my strength for. It's just to keep these communications up throughout the day.
Is Daruish in sight?
Yeah, he's here amongst the crowd. He's kind of standing kind of off to the side, brooding somewhat. Kind of observing.
I'm just going to talk to him.
Directly.
Yeah, give it a try.
Not just... Yeah.
Give it a try. You, Geza, and Desi, I think, are the best. Or Char. Not me. I hate that fucking guy. So.
Geza can talk to him. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm great with morally ambiguous people.
Okay, so you walk up to Daruish, he looks at you and kind of tips his, kind of nods to you. He's drinking a glass of wine.
Do we have privacy, or we're, within arm's reach of randos?
Privacy in the sense that, it's a crowd of, half-drunk or mostly drunk people mingling with each other, and there's guards kind of standing around the perimeter. But there's no guards particularly that are very close.
Metaconcert, I feel like we have to see where Daruish is on this. If he knows... Once he knows this, what his response is.
Yeah,
he wants to know.
I'm just what do you know? You brought us here he brought us here to get on that investigation, right? He wants us on that investigation. Daruish?
He didn't bring us here.
He didn't bring us here, but he wants us on that investigation.
He wants us to help him
infiltrate,
foil the plans of Damezo and the Skeletor of the city.
So he wants us to infiltrate, but I think we are in danger now. Tell us what you know.
You're definitely in danger.
God damn it.
To what extent? I don't know. Damezo is very impetuous. He acts abruptly. I've seen him kill servants for dropping a glass of wine. But he's also incredibly calculating. He may have bigger plans for you. And
He
may
may
be
not want
holding
this.
off. May not
He may
want you
not.
dead yet. I assume,
don't
though,
know.
that you have garnered what's going on here tonight.
It seems that we were pawns in his game.
It would seem.
And you knew this and you didn't warn us?
I didn't realize what was happening until he asked me to do what you saw him tell me to do.
Somebody's getting a lot of feedback.
It's me, and I don't know why. So
I think it's coming through Mark's. He's the one that lights up.
yeah, I think I'm good now. So if test. Yeah,
I think it's your voice, or
it's my voice. It's my voice coming through someone else's computer.
exactly.
Yeah.
My impression was that it was Emily's computer.
Test. All right. We'll
No,
just
they're both muted. It's
Both went on mute.
yeah.
Whatever.
Oh boy, what grand times we have at Adventure Hook. I'm sorry. Say that. What were we saying?
That he was discovering it just at the same time as we did.
Yeah, I was taken aback by what Damezo asked me to do, but I figured that wasn't my time to make a stand, not for some slave gladiators.
Yeah. Same. You know where the poison came from?
No, I've heard very little about that. I did have an inkling that Damezo and some of the other staff knew that the Faro fruit had been contaminated somehow, but they keep me woefully out of the loop of the inner workings of the house. I'm a glorified sigil to them.
Do you do no snooping with these incredible powers of mind you have?
I've told you already I've attempted to, but his elf, Souza, keeps him like a locked box.
Shit.
So
All I know is that he has agents within the city in very strategic positions. And so Damezo knows a lot more than people realize. And it can anticipate much more than people hope.
the power that you used on the gladiator, has he had you? How long do those effects last?
Until they're fulfilled. Vryn can attempt to recant his confession now, but nobody will listen to him. Who confesses in the first place? No one
we
will
saw
believe
him come out of it as they were leaving.
Yes, but that won't matter. That could just be taken as he suddenly realizes the true significance of what his confession means now. And his friends denying it, that's just the way of all criminals to deny. All that does is verify their suspicions that they were in cahoots.
Are you like us? Are you living under threat of Are you living under threat as well of what does he have on you? Does he have something on you?
I told you already earlier today.
It's like it was months ago, though.
I know. I know. But I told you already. It was never my intention to become a defiler. My parents were killed by Kalek.
I did make that
Defile
note, yes.
the path of defilement is the surest, simplest, and most expedient route to power. It wasn't until I was well initiated that I realized the error of my way. And now I'm in it. And once you're in it, the only way out is death. And so I'll do what I can, hoping that someday I can achieve my ultimate goal and see that Kalek is no longer sitting upon the throne of Tyr. But in the meantime, I'm a defiler and I must do what defilers do. I must work within the strictures of my organization.
That spell again. Have you commanded any of these spies to kill themselves if discovered?
Oh, you can't force someone to kill themselves using such magic. It's against one's inner nature, and therefore is anathema to the arcane arts. It's the one thing that you can't do. Why do you ask?
Because a spy just killed himself.
No reason.
Wait.
Jezza is tired of Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
Because a spy just killed himself.
That's what gets you killed when you're in it.
Wait. Lower your voices. Who just killed themselves?
A guard.
Which guard?
Marcus.
Nerissa's spy. Spy on Nerissa.
Yeah.
Nerissa operative.
Marcus was a spy for Nerissa?
Maybe.
No, he was a spy for Damezo, spying on Nerissa. Sorry. At least that's what we think. What do you know?
All I know is that...
He rolled a natural 1, so he doesn't know shit.
Yeah, he doesn't know shit.
Your custom rolling is Desi, by the way, so that's why I know that.
Yeah, I'm not rolling. I'm just rolling like blank 20s. So I have Desi's character sheet open right now. But and then I'm adding the whatever after. Actually, I could open up Daruish's character sheet. I should do that.
No shit, he's got a character sheet.
Yeah. Like, yeah, dude. Like most of these NPCs you meet are like character builds. They're not monster builds.
That's cool.
Yeah, because I hate NPCs that are monster builds because they're like 2-dimensional and have like 2 powers. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, okay. So yeah. Having said that, he goes, that doofus. That boy toy Marcus was a spy?
Apparently.
Respect.
You can go pay your respect at the base of the precipice. What do we call it? What was that?
The North Tower?
Yeah, the North
So
Tower.
pay your respects at the base of the North Tower.
Well, I can tell you, if you were on to him and he was indeed spying for House Ianto and at Nerissa's, and you caught him, and there was any chance of him being revealed to Damezo, he took the easy way out. I guarantee you that.
So you think he was Nerissa's, not Damezo's?
No.
No. If he was a spy for House Ianto against Nerissa, then he certainly took the easy way out, because Damezo would take great relish in torturing him over a very long period of time if he discovered for being exposed,
for failure,
for failing him. But what is it that he was spying? What information did he garner from House Nerissa that would have been so important to tonight's goings-on?
Well, that's where the fruit came from.
Is that where the poison came from? It is said that Nerissa is a dealer in contraband.
It was her
She
party.
probably poisoned it.
It would seem that way, wouldn't it?
If Nerissa is moving against House Ianto, then she must be backed up by another one of the houses that are keen on seeing that House Ianto does not elevate its status.
Vordon.
Vordon makes sense.
Oh, well, no, Mock. I'm feeding that to you guys. Mock's over there still watching.
Right. Yeah.
No, he fed that to Geza and Desi.
I'd say it.
Vordon would make sense. But because of the involvement in silk and iron, House Stell could also be behind this. Aruk has been trying to move against Kalek for some time because of the fact that he has shut the iron mines down. Anything that they can do to weaken Tyr, force them to reopen the mines, they'll do. And House Ianto has become more and more entwined with the machinations of Kalek. I have a feeling that they're working out some deal to get exclusive rights to export steel from the mines. If that's the case, then of course Vordon would certainly be interested in, like I said, Stell. But I would say it's too early at this point to make any determinations.
Hey, if Damezo ever asks you to use that spell on us, don't, okay?
He smirks and he says, I'll do what I can. Perhaps resist a little harder than our friend did.
If I resist, will you not break my brain? I have no doubts that your brain against my brain. I do not like those odds. Maybe you do not push so hard. You just tell me, how to get out of it.
Well, I can't make any promises yet, but perhaps if you can help me, once again, infiltrate further into the machinations of House Ianto, discover what's actually happening here.
See if he can. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say.
I just want to say that I am very emboldened by the fact that you think that there is infiltration by us to happen, because honestly, standing here, we are not certain whether we are leaving alive tonight. But if you, in very close companionship with Damezo, believe that we have a future,
I'll do some
this is fun.
I'll do some poking around. I'll go talk to Damezo, see if I can get any inclination as to his intentions for tonight. And I'll get back to you. In the meantime, you need to play it cool for the rest of the evening.
Oh, I'm cool. Did you not see me just chase a fucking spy up the stairs? I'm really cool.
Yes, don't cause the undue suicides of any other spies within House Ianto tonight.
Good idea.
I think that if he did indeed jump off the North Tower into the Obsidian Field, he's unlikely to be found until tomorrow at least. So just be cool until I can scope things out.
If he can get us into the dungeons tonight. He could probably make that happen and not be discovered in the process.
Do you know if the Souza is really taking them prisoner, or are they being executed? Are they going where they said they were going, the gladiators?
Oh, most certainly. They've been taken to the dungeons. Again, I don't know where the entrance is. So I only have an inkling that it's somewhere on the north side of the fortress.
Up or down?
Well, it would have to be here at ground level.
Dungeon, stupid.
Yeah.
Oh,
It would have to be ground level. But that's where the obsidian operation is. That's all I know. I don't know where the secret entrance into the chamber is. But everyone here will be staying the night and be given quarters. I can't advise you go looking for it. But if you do, it will have to be an operation of the utmost stealth.
Right.
But I will tell you that he's going to relish his torment of these 4 gladiators.
What about mind stuff? Like, I'm gonna ask Ma'ak of, like, do we have to physically go to them? If we can reach them, if we have you, and if Daruish is an even better mentalist, do we have to literally go to their physicality to talk to them and get the information that we need before we let them do?
Since Ma'ak never made a mind link with them in the first place, I deliberately didn't. I don't know if I can now do it without seeing them. I think the answer is probably like, no, that's not.
Yeah,
fair.
I think it's line of sight.
It's line of sight to establish it, and then from there, it's the same plane of existence.
Yeah.
Ma could go to the other side of the planet and still mind link with you.
Yeah.
As long as we.
So-
And now what we ruled was, if you're in Ma'ak's clutch, he can reestablish it without seeing you.
Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
only if you're in the clutch.
Daruish-
Otherwise, he has to redo it. So
Daruish must have made a mind link with that dwarf. He's got a mind link.
I think he used magic, not the way.
Oh, not psych. Okay. Shit.
Yeah. You know that, like, from your role, you know that it was a magical spell,
Not a psych.
not psionics. Yeah.
But he did it as a preserver, right? He didn't kill a bunch of plants and stuff.
No. Nothing died around you.
Yeah.
So.
Did Sousa take the blade off of the woman, off of the gladiator? Because there was that silver blade or whatever the fuck that she won.
Yeah. She took the steel sword, or he took the steel sword
Sousa
from her.
took possession of it, but then walked them all somewhere.
Yeah, he handed it off to, like, another guard on the way, so he didn't.
He handed it off. Okay.
Yeah. So, and from that point, you lost track of it.
Did any of the prisoners have any notable objects on them?
No, they were still. All they were wearing was the armor that they wore, like any clothing that they wore during the fight. But all weapons were given to them and then retrieved from them as they entered and left the arena.
But none of them had, like, bracelets or, like, wooden things braided in their hair or any of that shit.
I mean, like, kind of your standard, like, the dwarves were hairless from head to toe. Domichelle, her hair was braided, maybe with just like a strap, like a leather thong. Nothing particular, because they were all enslaved to House Ianto, so they really don't have personal property.
What are you looking for, Giza?
If any of them had something that they wouldn't be stripped of, I can locate it.
Oh, nice.
Well, I mean, you can certainly locate their armor. They all three, Vryn, Grain,
Dark Sun,
and
they've got piercings, right?
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah.
like wondering about jewelry and stuff, because armor I think they're going to be stripped of.
Mm-hmm.
If they're taken into bondage, they won't be wearing their armor. But if they have an earring or a jewelry in their hair,
Domichelle. Okay,
anything-
so Domichelle the half elf has a bone stud through her nose.
There you go.
So I'm going to cast Locate Object on the bone stud in her nose. As long as...
That in real life.
What's that?
I want that skill in real life. Just imagine how I never lose my key.
Car keys.
Well, it's you're gonna air tag her bone nose.
Right. So I will walk in the direction that they were escorted away, and then cast Locate Object on that.
Okay, so let's look at that real quick.
As long as it's within 1,000 feet of me, I will know the direction of the object's location.
The problem is it a winding path, or is it like as the crow flies through all objects?
I would imagine it would be as through objects. I can't imagine it's going to tell me what path to take.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be find the path. That's a...
Yeah, it says the spell
Or is
can
that third
locate
edition?
a specific object known to you as long as you have seen it up close within 30 feet at least once. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind.
It also can't locate an object if any thickness of lead, even a thin sheet, blocks a direct path, but I don't think we're in danger of that.
No. As long as that object
And
is within
the duration of the spell is up to 10 minutes as long as I'm concentrating on it. So it's a beacon, it's a compass. So I could try to walk around walls and stuff until I'm walking at it.
Nice.
Yeah, I do have. Yeah, it's Okay, so you guys are standing up, like kind of up in the same area where you were sitting, here in the northeast corner of the courtyard, and the bone, like the object you're looking for, is almost at a 45-degree angle straight down from you if you look to the west, like directly to the west and down. And the object is kind of moving in small circles, kind of in like a 10-foot circle.
Moving in circles. Weird.
Like a merry-go-round of death or something.
Yeah.
Shit down there.
So,
Yeah. Or like she's
For-
pacing in a circle, whatever.
Oh, I
yeah.
know.
Right.
Cell,
For
okay.
clarity, can you put my character on the map where I'm sensing it?
Okay, it's going to be. Give me just a second.
I guess where I am and where it feels like it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so it is generally sort of like in this area, like right around here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but down.
Down, but not under the palace.
Not under the palace.
Did
Hard-
they
it's
walk in
without actually opening
They
up.
went into the barracks, or well, the door we keep using.
Yeah, the door that they went through is this one over here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, without actually opening that map up, which would
Right.
show you exactly where it is. That's generally the direction. That's vaguely the area where she is.
Okay. So I'm looking up at the stars as I walk around the courtyard in this area, and in meta concert, I'm like, directly under me is where.
Kraken says, "Do I get to bust hole in ground now? Punch hole in earth?"
Maybe soon.
And
How deep?
I know the direction, but not the distance. Correct?
Let's look at that again. Oh, God, where's my cursor? You sense the direction of the object's location as long as that object is within 1,000 feet. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much just the direction. So yeah,
Okay.
but I will say that, like, based on triangulation, you walk over top of it, and then if you walk past it, that angle starts to kind of get.
Angle is shifting.
Yeah, as that angle shifts, you give me just a standard intelligence check.
Make a geometry roll.
Yeah. What's the hypotenuse?
Are we sure it's not wisdom?
Plus B squared equals C squared, man.
Yeah.
I'm much better at wisdom. Do I get to guide myself on this? I do, right?
Yeah, you can guide yourself.
Sure.
Oh, good fucking thing, because that wasn't very good. Fucking 10?
10.
10?
Yeah, you can't really. You're not good at angles.
1 to 3 stories down.
Yeah. It's down there. You don't think it's too far down, is all you can say.
Yeah.
Like 1 to floor down, probably.
Yeah,
right?
I'm guessing it's 1 floor down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that they went in through that barrack door, so we should probably do the same. Daruish is gone, right?
Yeah. I mean, Daruish kind of encouraged you to wait till everybody was asleep tonight. But
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Kame knows how to get in the dungeons?
Yes, but I can't imagine. I doubt it. Why? Like, what?
What if you were doing sickle duty?
What's sickle duty?
You're a sickle, right? You're doing, or like a Stygian, whatever.
Oh, is
Strigil.
was it? Yeah, wasn't
sickles
it
are
Strigil?
free. Stygians are slaves, right? Sickles are free, or the other way around. What?
No. All Strigils, it's the same. All Strigils are basically indentured servants. So they're semi-free. They have to work off their debt, typically. Not always, but typically Strigils have been sponsored by a powerful house, and then they owe them a certain amount of indentured servitude, and once they pay that off, then they can leave or stay on as hired Strigils. It's transactional. There's no hard rules surrounding Strigils.
Well, the short one was my point.
Yeah.
So if you had to, I don't know, somehow there's some duty that connects you to having to, I don't know, get something to the dwarves, or somehow Crocus gave them something, wanted it back. We really, really need it back. Kame, can you help us? Right? I don't know. You'd have to lie, but
I'm terrible at lying.
I know. That's why I'm prefacing that. But Desi's a great liar, and I mean that in a compliment. So.
Thank you, dear.
Give me I think Geza, because are you still pacing over there, kind of in the general area where the locate object is?
Yeah, I'm just like looking up at the night sky and walking.
Give me
around.
a perception check.
Well, it was bad. I rolled a 1, and so that's a 6 total.
Okie doke.
So there you go.
There you go.
But I don't want to just pace around there because that's weird. I want to pace around the whole courtyard and just like take in the sights.
Okay. All right, yeah, so you can kind of, even though are you going to go against the plan of the group, which was no longer leave sight of each other?
I guess I'll walk to the edge of the palace, and then like one on the far side, and then on the inner side, so that I still do the perimeter walk, but not just in a circle on this spot.
So you're going to kind of walk down to this area?
Yeah, but not out of their sight.
Yeah, and then kind of walk back.
Yeah, but like against one wall and then against the opposite wall.
Okay. Well, then I will say that this is something you don't even have to make a perception check for. You see a guard walk down from the main entrance of the palace. And down here on this side of the courtyard, down here in the bottom, like the southwest corner, there's a well. That supplies water for all the fortress's needs. The guard walks over and drops something into the well, and you hear a splash.
what the fuck is going on? In meta concert, I'm like, another guard just did something really weird and dropped an object down the well. I don't even
Which guard? Point him to me.
I mean, as I'm starting to round the corner and turn around, can I see his face? Anything?
Give me an investigation check.
God, I am running low on points, guys. Yeah.
Natural
I
20. Natural 20 on that for a 23 total.
Okay. Yeah, you get a good look at him.
And,
I'm not going to bother describing him, but you get a good look at him.
He's a guy. He looks like this.
He looks like he's a guy who looks like a guard kind of guy.
Can I get within 120 feet of him?
How spread out are the partiers at this point? Are we like the only people over here, or what would we be?
I mean, they've basically kind of started to expand around the palace, so they're spread out pretty well at this point. It's not crowded like it was earlier.
So yeah, I would just say, is the guard walking towards me or towards the bottom of the southern side?
So the guard drops whatever object he had in the well and then starts to walk away along the southern corridor.
So
All right.
I tell Ma'ak to intersect on the
Yeah.
southern.
I will
Move
insect
south.
will
Move
intersect.
south. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I point out, that's 120 feet easy. So
Yeah.
he doesn't get a save.
Yeah. I mean, it's not huge because these squares are 5 feet. So yeah.
Yeah. It's easy. As soon as I can see him, he doesn't get a save. He won't be aware. But tell me what is most on its mind that moment.
Are these surface thoughts?
Yeah, surface thoughts. Basically ESP, right?
ESP. He doesn't know what he's going to do with an entire gold piece that Damezo just awarded him for dropping a dagger down the well. Like, who gives a shit? Like, why, like, but he's thinking to himself, like, not gonna ask questions. I don't give a shit why I had to drop that knife down the well. But I got a whole entire gold piece in my pocket. He's like, maybe I'll go hit up some of the gambling dens.
That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. Thank you, sir.
Is Damezo
Really thirsty?
like who's Damezo trying to secretly kill in his own dungeon? What the fuck?
What in the serious fuck? But let's get that dagger, huh?
Get the dagger.
Right?
So, are you going to go past and head over to the well?
Yeah, I'm super thirsty.
Okay, you head over to the well. Geza?
I'm just gonna look up at the stars so that I could look over my shoulder and see the well if I wanted to.
Okay. Now, are the rest of you staying kind of in the same area where you were?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so from your vantage point, you see this little area, this like back, section of the palace here. The second floor is actually a balcony. It's a covered balcony with a portico that goes all the way around, and you can see there's been light kind of filtering out from a second story room up there. And as you're standing there, you see someone come out onto the balcony and approach the edge. It's Damezo.
Don't jump.
And Damezo hangs his head down, puts a hand on his heart, and clutches his toga tightly, and he holds a hand up. It's only been about a half an hour since you ate the Faro fruit.
He just stabbed his dad? Why? He couldn't wait a half an hour?
He holds his hand out over the crowd below and says to everyone, "Friends, please, I have terrible news." Everybody gets quiet, starts to gather around. below. He puts his hand on his eyes. He says, "My dear father, that great man Strabo Ianto is no more. That evil poison that serpent wretch laced into the Faro fruit that would have taken us all has taken my father."
In record time.
And he says, please drink to my father's memory. Hold him in your heart. And carry this story with you as you return to Tyr. Tell them of the treachery that has befallen House Ianto. Tell them that we will not be so easily cowed. That House Ianto will come out of this stronger than ever. The cat. And then he turns and he walks back inside.
Bravo!
Yeah.
Encore!
So I will allow Desi a medicine check for that now, with advantage.
To see if he was lying?
No, like to see what insights you might gain into what this poison actually was.
Okay, I got a 14.
A 14, okay. This is completely conjecture. You obviously have absolutely no way to back this up, but there's a little part of you that thinks that poison, in order to be as deadly as you were told it was, probably had to have been taken whole by one individual. So even to cut it by a third or even potentially a half would have made it potentially non-lethal.
Shit, so I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, we weren't in danger at all then.
Like I said, this is absolute conjecture. You have no way of verifying this unless you talk to Narissa directly. But it doesn't make any sense that he would, like, if it was going to kill his father, he would have just let the hour pass and it would have done him in. Instead, like, it's only been a half an hour and he's announcing his father's death.
All he needed was the excuse.
Just the excuse.
So, while
there was no reality where the whole fruit was eaten by one person. So
No.
Well, no, if you recall, when Damezo first bought the fruit, he says, "I want to invite you all to come to my house tomorrow," or whenever it was going to be, if it was the day after next, "to watch me eat the first Faro fruit." He was very, like, it seemed very much that his intention was to let all of these fucking people watch him indulge in this fruit all by himself while they get to watch.
But Marcus fucked it up.
He could take the blame, actually.
So I think
spotted. I mean, we could connect him there. We could be like, he's the motherfucker. We saw him at that other party too.
I think a good place to leave this, though, for tonight is are you going to try to retrieve something from the bottom of that well?
When that big production was going on, did everybody go and watch?
Oh, yeah. You were basically left. Even the guards wandered over that way.
How wide is the well?
The well is, it's a standard size well, so it's a little over, it's like around 6-7 feet wide. So, you
can climb it easy.
Yeah, you could.
Probably as big as the one you climbed down last time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Do I see water at the bottom?
The water at the bottom looks like it's about 50 feet down.
Ma'ak hates water.
Well, and in theory, the knife could have gone well below the surface. We don't know how deep it is.
Yeah, I know.
But just the disposal of the murder weapon.
Yeah, we don't. It's whatever at this point.
Yeah, but no, I gotta get it. So Ma'ak will, if nobody's watching, Ma'ak will climb down the well.
Okay, give me a what would that be? Acrobatics or athletics?
They're the same to me, although I'm technically skilled in athletics.
Okay.
There you go.
Ooh, a nat 19 for a 24.
Nice.
All numbers are nat. I got a nat 14. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, you can climb down to the surface of the water fairly easily. You basically like put all of your like secondary appendages out, and you can shimmy down fairly easily. You get down to the surface of the water. From there, you just see that dark, shiny surface below you, rippling in the moonlight.
So I don't see...
Give me a investigation check.
All right, here we go. I'm actually super skilled in investigation. But when you roll a 6, you only get a 14.
14. You think you
Just
see...
need to see it.
Well,
Just
you think you see a glint of something,
Okay.
but you can't quite tell how deep it is.
All right, well, we're about to find out if it's at least 30 feet away. Whatever that glint is, I'll use far hand and draw it up to me.
That glint starts to get closer and closer.
Okay, then can I get it above the surface of the water?
You can move it up to 30 feet?
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
All right, yeah. It comes up out of the surface of below the surface of the water, and there, gleaming in the night, the moonlight, is a steel dirk.
Awesome.
And it appears as though there might still be some dark, sticky blood on the blade.
No shit.
And it's only been in there a couple couple minutes. It hasn't had a chance to wash away completely.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
good. I'm glad I
DNA
quickly-
evidence. DNA evidence. Is there DNA evidence in
No.
Definitely. Yeah,
Maybe-
Athos
There
is
is
all about it.
there is not DNA evidence. However, my friends, Ma'ak, and this will be a good button on the episode, but Ma'ak will concentrate and use psychometric touch to experience the last 10 minutes of this dagger
Okay.
before it was dropped down the well.
Okay. And then I'll tell you that experience, and then we'll call it.
All right, cool.
The last 10 minutes. Do you you see what the
From the dagger.
From the perspective of the dagger.
Okay. So like the first 8 minutes or so. Well, no. Okay. So it'd be 5. So the first 5 minutes or so are all dark, and you can hear the sound of kind of muffled footsteps making their way through halls, and then you hear the sound of a door creaking open, and then the muffled voice of,
"Oh, my son, have you learned anything else? I'm so terrified. Never has someone managed to poison anyone of House Ianto this way. Do you know if it's true?" "Father, I'm afraid it is true. Your end has finally come."
and then suddenly light as you're pulled from the sheath, and you can now see across the sort of this palatial room. It's lit by braziers around. In the center is a postered bed, palatial, massive bed filled with brocaded sheets and pillows, and The rest of the room is empty. No one else is in here. And you can see the massive, bloated, corpulent form of Strabo lying on the bed, like kind of in a swoon. And he steps forward, and you can see Strabo goes,
Son, why do you look at me so?
Father, I regret to inform you, there's no coming back from this one. Wow. And then you kind of raise up and higher, and you see a hand come out and grab hold of Strabo's hair and pull his neck back, revealing like several folds of his neck. And he goes,
Son, what are you doing? What are you...
And then like stab, blood. Before Strabo could even begin to cry out, his voice is stifled. And then you see a cloth come up, and he just kind of, one edge of the blade gets wiped across the cloth. And then it gets wrapped up in that same cloth. And from there, everything goes dark again. You can hear the sound of like ruffling sheets, as if like a sheet is getting tossed over something. And then muffled steps, door opens again, step, across tiled floors, down hollow stairs, and then you hear the sound of someone say,
Sir, your father.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry for your loss. Yes, it is a terrible blow to House Ianto. But, as always, we must go on. Oh, also, would you mind taking this and throwing it in the well?
Okay, but...
And here's a gold piece for your discretion. Certainly, sir. Certainly. Thank you, Danicus. And then you hear more muffled steps out into the courtyard, and then the light of the moon is exposed as the dagger is taken out of the cloth, and then the last thing you remember is falling down a dark shaft, and then the sound of water splashing.
Nice. That was perfect. Yeah. That was exactly what I was hoping it would be. That was probably super disturbing to murder someone first person.
Yeah, very Grendel's sword.
But yeah, no, that's great. Everybody in the meta concert gets the full download of that one, for sure. Yeah. Marc will carefully wrap the dagger up, trying not to wipe off any of the blood. Stash that in his harness, and then to complete the illusion, he'll pull off one of his tchotchkechas, dip it in the water just to get it wet, and then he'll climb back up. So if he needs an excuse, I dropped my tchotchkecha, I had to go get it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it doesn't take you long when you get back up. They're still all down at the other end of the courtyard.
Oh, okay,
Nobody
cool.
sees
If I got away with
so.
it, great. If just in case I need to explain myself, why did Marc climb down the well? Well, he dropped his tchotchkecha. Of course, he'd go down for that.
And
it's the only thing to go down for, right?
And we'll just fast forward just for tonight. We'll call it tonight. Fast forward a little bit after another hour or two of revelry. Basically everyone is ushered to their different sleeping quarters, and everyone retires for the night. So, having said that, that was an awesome session. So, we'll see everybody hopefully in 2 weeks as we get back to the intrigue that is Fortress House Ianto.
In 2 weeks, it's Joe Annabi's birthday.
Oh shit!
Oh, happy birthday, Joe.
Yep, happy birthday.
In 2 weeks, you can say it then.
Yeah.
We should all get a piece of cake that we can each put an individual candle in and light it while we're playing, so we can have birthday cake.
Oh yeah.
Blow my
Sweet
candle in front of me, please.
Cake in front of it. Exactly.
Blow my candle.
That's what she said.
That isn't wax.
All right, well, thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time on Dark Sun Adventure Hook Fire and Sand.
And Aaron, you'll be getting something from me in a couple of days.
Okay, great, because yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk about that off camera.
Never pitch a project where you got 6 different teams. That's all I gotta say. You gotta let them all at once.
Yeah, okay. All right, good night, everybody.